2099. The Earth destroyed. Humanity's last great hope lies on the dark side of the moon, huddled in an abandoned mining colony, sending signals back through time to chronicle mankind's greatest creations and save the planet once and for all. The game's still weird. The storyline more convoluted than ever. The boys still tugging.
You are now listening to Joystick Tuggers.
Zipper. Oh. It's not supposed to happen. There we go.
I was gonna do a special sing-along version of it.
I didn't mute that one.
We should do that. We should do a special sing-along version of that.
What I was gonna say before that music was I forgot to zip up my zipper after I got out of the bathroom, or. As my dad would say, do you have a license to sell hot dogs? Which I always thought was, it's definitely like, definitely falls within the realm of a dad joke, but it falls within the realm of a dad joke, like, that's kind of inappropriate.
But not quite.
Especially when you're like 4 years old. Oh, there's someone on their hog outside.
Nice. I love hogs.
I love looking at them. I love licking them. I love seeing them.
I love putting my mouth on the exhaust.
That's gross if you think about it as being a motorcycle, or if you think about it as being a hog. Like
motorcycle? Oh, okay.
Like putting your mouth on the exhaust of a pig is gross.
Why do people call motorcycles pigs?
They call them hogs. That's where the term hog wild comes from.
Oh.
Because people like go insane because they love motorcycles.
Because they love Tim Allen movies?
Yes, Wild Hogs. Wild Hogs was actually, that was the main thing.
The Tim Allen movie I was talking about the other day with Jim Belushi in it is called Joe Somebody, and he fights Patrick Warburton in it. He fights Putty in it.
Are you saying that's Warburton's best known film?
Some would say.
I've never heard of it.
Well,
I'm sure it was great because it had Jim Belushi and Tim Allen in it.
It had Hayden Panettiere as his daughter.
And she was like really young?
It was like 2001, so she probably would have been like...
Oh, yeah. So she would have been
11, 12 years old. It had Jim Belushi. It had Rachel Ray. It had...
Rachel Ray as the chef.
It had Jon Favreau as chef. Not to be confused with the
chef.
South
Park character, Chef.
Yes. It also had Isaac Hayes. Is that who played Chef? The voice of Chef?
Isaac Hayes was in it, but he played a gay man. Isaac Gaze.
Oh. It had...
Tayson Day was in it.
Tayson Day was in it. He played...
Tayson Hayes. Yeah. Isaac Hayes' brother.
Tayson Gaze. Tayson Gaze is it's a fetish film I'm working on. It did have somebody else I can't think of off the top of my head. It actually did have somebody else of note. Had Morgan Freeman as God in it.
Of course.
Had the Shaggy Dog in it, of course.
As himself. And at the credits it said, and introducing the Shaggy Dog as...
Shaggy Dog.
Himself.
He said,
and he winks at the camera at the very end.
He winks at the camera and he goes, picture this way we're both butt naked, banging on a bedroom floor.
It wasn't me.
Yep. But then it was him because he made the sequel to Joe Somebody and it was the Shaggy Dog.
That's an odd naming choice for them to go to when they were building that IP.
Joe Somebody, the Shaggy Dog.
The third movie, Joe versus the volcano. A lot of people don't know that. It actually takes place.
It's the pre-sequel.
Yeah, it takes place third in the line.
Is Tim Allen made a... Oh, I know. And after that, Tim Allen was like, hey, the sequel to the Joe versus the volcano, Ford commercials.
Those Ford commercials were the 4th, 5th, 6th, and subsequent entries in the Somebody franchise.
And then the finishing piece was... Well, he's still working on the Michigan commercials.
He does the voice for the Michigan commercials?
Yeah.
Is he from Michigan?
I don't know. That's what...
That would have to be the only reason why.
That's where...
Right? They wouldn't just say, like, hey, we got to get Tim Allen for this.
That's where that's where Home Improvement takes place. And then, like, have you been to Michigan? That's like you go to Michigan...
If Home Improvement takes place in Michigan, I'm assuming he's from there.
Home Improvement takes place in Michigan. You go to Michigan and it says, welcome to Home Improvement TV show land, a.k.a. Michigan. And then when you're leaving...
You know what their state motto is?
What's that? I suspected. I thought it was going to be, I don't think so, Tim.
That used to be it.
Just
this year they changed it to
when you're going back down into Indiana from Michigan, it says, screw you for taking Tim the Toolman Taylor from us, because the last episode of Home Improvement, they're moving to Indiana. That's not a joke.
Darn Indiana.
That's where it says, I don't think so, Tim. When you try to leave, they turn you around at the border. And they said, I don't think so, Tim.
Yeah, that's what the police all say to you.
Mm-hmm. That's
a formal greeting there. Is that the police will come up and they'll salute you with kind of like a flat hand, with the back of their flat hand against their forehead, and they go,
Did you know that there's a law in Michigan where your fence can be no shorter or no taller than 5'8", so you have to always peek out of it.
Mm-hmm. So you can only see someone's eyes over it and never more.
Right. Everything there is also built with the Benford 6500, whatever that is. So it's a universal tool.
It's the best tool.
It is. I can't think of anything else from Tim the Toolman Taylor, Home Improvement land.
Well, Tim the Toolman Taylor is slightly relevant to our conversation because today we're going to be discussing 2 games for the Game Boy. Now, the Game Boy is not the thing that has to do with Tim the Toolman Taylor. The thing that has to do with Tim the Toolman Taylor is that constructing things with your hands is sometimes also a thing that people named Billy Bob, who like to hunt and fish, would do.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about Billy Bob's hunting and fishing for one.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about...
No. For the Xbox One?
Yes, for the for the Zone, the XONE.
Oh,
no,
okay.
for the Game Boy
Color.
Color.
It's a Game Boy... I do remember this, because I used to have this game. It's a Game Boy Color exclusive.
Okay, so you couldn't play this if you just had a normal Game Boy.
I mean, you've seen the game.
It needed the power of the color.
You've seen the game.
Yeah, you couldn't play it in black and white. And then we're also talking about something that I think Tim Allen's probably very good at.
Mm-hmm.
Another game called Monkey Puncher.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way he is good at it is probably a little more euphemistically than the game entails. The game is actual monkeys punching each other.
Okay, I was...
his way is like a penis thing.
Wow.
Is what I was alluding to.
In real life, monkey punching is illegal. You can't harbor monkeys in your home, train them
and train them to
fight.
Punch one another.
Just like you can't put cocaine in your butt and then smuggle it. So Tim Allen is very familiar with these things.
Okay. Yeah, and that way he's kind of fallen into the same ballpark as real life monkey punching. Mm-hmm. But in the Monkey Puncher game, it's not only legal, it is lovingly enforced.
Mm-hmm. By strict law.
These are all things that are going to go in the archive, and they're really all things that, honestly, at this point, I'm kind of disappointed and ashamed that we haven't already put both of these games into the archive. They're really vital to the history of video games.
I mean, they're true classics.
I mean, the fact that we haven't received any moon mail suggesting these 2 games to be archived,
or any 2 games for that
really
matter,
shows a lot of... just really a lack of caring from our audience that is just really unsettling to me.
200 episodes, when we're 200 episodes into this, in the year 2107.
Yeah.
Something like that.
If you do the math right.
Well, we'll be gone because the moon is set to be destroyed by then. But on our 200th episode, I'm sure, somebody's going to suggest, hey, you guys should do Billy Bob's Huntin' and Fishin' and Monkey Puncher in an episode. Because they go together like peas and carrots, like Miracle Grow and toothpaste.
Billy Bob's Hunting and Fishing, and Yeah.
Billy Bob, hunting, fishing, monkey, puncher. They all go together.
Yeah.
But we're going to be like, you dummy, we did this a long time ago. Way back in the year 2099.
We did this before you even knew what was good for you.
Right.
We did it. So go back and listen to it. And they'll have to go all the way back in time to get a copy because we don't save any backups.
Nope. Delete them as we go.
I'm going to delete this right now. Well, Paula, come on down to the creek with me. I ain't got no teeth in my head. In my head. In my head.
Billy
Bob's hunting and fishing. Today we're going to talk about Billy Bob's hunting and fishing for the Game Boy Color. Game Boy Colored, I'm supposed to say nowadays.
Yep. No, they keep talking like that.
This is my natural voice. I put on an affectation
All right.
normally to appear more normal to the earthlings of the past.
I'm usually speaking in like a regular, neutral American English tone, but when I'm around my kinfolk, I tend to slip back into my old ways.
That's our old moon voice.
Yep.
Now, interestingly enough, this is also the way of speaking shared by those people in the game Billy Bob's Hunting and Fishing. Now, this is a game that is very close to both of our hearts.
Right.
For a lot of reasons. I mean, most of what we spend our time doing here on the moon is we hunt.
We fish.
We've not found anything yet, but we're hunting every day. We fish. We definitely fish. We fish all the time. Now, this is the thing, though. There's no water outside, you know, so we have to fish indoors.
Well,
so we kind of set up one of those little, one of them little duck pond situations. Like we fish with a little magnet on a duck, and you turn it over, it says 2.
We have our
and
own,
that gets you like a stovepipe hat or something.
Oh, I want to try that. I have a koi pond that I put my koi's in.
Very oriental.
Yeah. I got one of them in there. It's like fishing in a koi pond. It's just so easy. It's like shooting fish in a koi pond, you know.
You just give them food, or do you actually like take them out with a string?
I take them out with a shotgun, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh my God, where are you getting more koi at?
I breed them.
Oh, so you let them get some love first.
Right. I read them the Spawn comic books, and then they do their thing.
Very romantic.
That's right.
They breed.
I show them.
They hear the way of their lord Spawn, and then they breed.
That's right. They like John Leguizamo as a fat clown.
Everyone did. Americans did. That's for sure. Spawn, #1 film of all time. So that's kind of where we're coming from here. We love hunting. We love fishing.
We love fishing.
We love fishing. We love it. So this game, Billy Bob's Hunting and Fishing for the Game Boy Color, this is like a dream game. In this game,
it's like I'm back at home.
In this game, you're walking around. You're looking like, oh, I can go over here to the bait shop.
You look like 73 Elvis, I'd say.
Yeah, about right. About good weight ratio there for a little late life Elvis.
Yeah.
It's like just pre-toilet sit.
Yep.
Just pre-shoot TV situation.
Speaking of toilets, we do have to mention there is an outhouse.
Turlet.
Oh well, yeah. There is a outhouse in this game that you use to save it, and it has a picture of dear old Moon on it.
It does. It has the moon, the original symbol of taking a dump.
Right.
You know, because a lot of people used to say, now this is the thing a lot of people don't know. The reason we put the moon on the outhouse is because the Indians, back in the day, they used to say that the moon was the earth poop.
Oh.
It was like a little earth poop that couldn't get away. It didn't get free. It was like a dingleberry of the earth. So
that's what moon means. I mean, that's what moon means.
Moon means dingleberry of the earth.
It's an acronym.
In that SUI.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's why we had the moon symbol there, but that's dear to our heart too. So this game kind of has it all.
Yeah.
This really has everything that we want.
Dingleberries. So, the moon.
Kind of the main thing is in this game, just like in life, is you're trying to get that tang. That poontang.
Oh, I thought you were making another moon reference.
Yeah, well, I guess you did like tang in that way too.
We love tang.
You need tang to live, but...
And to die.
In order to make life, new life.
Oh, okay.
You need the other one, the one that I was saying the dirty word for.
Oh, okay.
You're looking for...
you make sure you beep that out, by the way.
You're looking for a lady's heart, and you're trying to get her affectations. And the way you get her affectations to be directed towards you is you got to catch carp. You got to hunt rabbits. You got to hunt raccoons.
You got to catch bass.
You got to get bass.
You got to get your hunting license first, foremost.
As far as I'm concerned, you ain't a real man until you have a hunting license, till you have a fishing license.
All right.
And if you don't have both of those, that's like one nut, two nut. You don't have no nuts.
That's right. And if you don't got them, you got to have 3 nuts because you got to run from Johnny Law.
Yeah, and I mean, Lord be with you.
And also with you.
Amen.
Thank you.
So we talk a lot about America on this podcast because that's the place of our ancestors.
Right. That's where like the gene, like that's where it started. That's where like they were always there.
Yeah, that's where humans started on Earth. Everyone knows that.
That's where the humans finished on Earth too.
Definitely. But there were other places on Earth as well. Sometimes they got their own games.
Right.
Now, I think
bookended by America, because America was the beginning and the end. It's bookended. So
I think we've talked about some Japanese games before. Right. We've at least referred to the nation of
Nippon.
But one place we've kind of forgotten about is Europe.
Yeah, that country is weird.
Europe was
a country.
Right. First and foremost, a country. Second, an island.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it had water around almost all of it if you went far enough.
It was a peninsula.
And they had some of their own games. Now, this game originally came out in Japan, like a lot of games at the time. But then it came out in Europe in English. Mm-hmm. Never came to America, though, because they thought Americans... Americans like punching. Rocky is at the center of American life. The Rocky films.
Right. Hawaiian Punch.
Hawaiian Punch is the cause, almost the number one cause of diabetes amongst Americans, which at one time every single American had. Every single American was diabetic before the end.
Right.
Most of that was caused by Hawaiian Punch. That was basically just liquid sugar. Mm-hmm. So people love punching. But there's one thing that they don't love so much in America, and that's when it's not a human doing the punching, but when it's a monkey doing the punching. So this game had to be released directly to Europe.
Right.
Land of monkeys.
It's weird, though, because they didn't speak English in Europe. Literally none of Europe spoke English.
No, they mostly spoke Français or Paris. But they did not speak very much. Very few places, if any, spoke English.
Guten Tag.
But they did have monkeys. And not only did they have monkeys, they loved watching them fight. Mm-hmm. So, this game is a game for the Game Boy.
Right.
Color?
It could be played.
It was in color. It was at least in color.
It was in mono. It was in monochrome, which still is technically color.
So, this is a game called Monkey Puncher, and
it's Monkey Puncher.
Yes,
not to be confused with Monkey Puncher. Completely different.
It's not one word. Yes, it's Monkey Space Puncher, and this
Space Puncher. Now that'd be a good game.
Monkey, comma Space Puncher. Yeah, that's the sequel we're waiting for. It has one of the most heartfelt and really classic kind of stories in video games. You either pick to play as the boy or the girl. Mm-hmm. You can name the boy or the girl whatever you want as long as it's less than 6 characters. So, as is the way.
Virtually anything.
As, was just Japan's kind of way of discriminating against people with names longer than 6 characters.
Right. Well, 26...
I can't think of anyone with a name longer than 6 characters.
26 times 6, that's a large number. It's a lot of different names you can name them. So, technically, impossible to name anything bigger than 6 characters. Yes. There's no more names. And Christian.
Yeah.
Games, it's less than 6 characters.
You could just figure out a way to make it less than 6 characters.
Mm-hmm. Xian. ...
So you can name them whatever you wish. And then what happens is you find out that your father and your sibling, either the brother if you pick the sister or the sister if you pick the brother, have been kidnapped by Saruman. Saruman? No. But that's what we thought too. Saru? Oh, who's Saru? Oh, well, they're just a gangster corporation.
Monkey gangsters.
They're monkey gangsters who mind control very effective monkey trainers and make them work very hard.
So nothing out of the ordinary.
Well, the sad thing is it's not. That was common across all of Europe and in all of Japan at the time.
Saru was?
Well, Saru and gangs like them. Saru is a fictional gang, but there were very real gangs. There was Uras, which is actually Saru backwards. They were the original monkey gangsters.
I was going to say, I think they were the original.
And they were just essentially men that wore like sweatshirts, and then they would put monkeys into tiny like 3-piece suits and give them little Tommy guns that shot out like little BBs.
They're like, look at us, we're just bums. These monkeys are our bosses.
Yeah, they just thought that was fun.
Sounds fun.
But eventually it turned to violence. And that's kind of where the game Monkey Puncher, kind of starts off.
So it's based in reality. I mean, I suspected from the name that it was based in reality.
Yeah, I would say it used reality as like a jumping off point.
Okay.
And then in the game, you're given a monkey.
Right.
By the name of Freddy. You don't get to choose that.
Given to you by a man named Fred. He's
given to you by a man. No, given.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Given to you by a man named Fred.
I heard your daddy and we played the girl. We heard your daddy and your brother got kidnapped by Saru. Bummer. Here's a monkey to fight them. Its name? It's Freddy.
It's Freddy. You don't give you a choice. I think as the game continues, you get the option to train more than one monkey. You get multiple monkeys. You can probably name the future ones.
This one gets enough concussions, you have to
buy
Freddy
a new one. Is kind of the tutorial monkey. And you feed him.
That old chestnut.
Yeah. You feed him. You chastise him.
You rebuke
him. You praise him.
Did you say feed him?
You feed him. You feed him everything. You feed him curry. You feed him bread, biscuits, corn.
Tissues.
You can't feed him tissues, but you can give him all your money. Mm-hmm. This is the best option, probably of any game that we've archived so far. The single best menu option. Shopping. Mm-hmm. You hit it. Shopping. Goes to, do you want to shop? It says like,
you shop?
Shopping you do? Or shopping you do? Or let monkey shop. And you go, ooh, I like the idea of letting the monkey shop.
Right.
Because you get the shopping done and the monkey does it. So it's kind of like a way for him to learn human ways.
He steals some stuff on the way back, usually, which is
pretty
dope.
You hit let monkey shop. It says, you give all your money to monkey and let him shop. And it shows a little cutscene of this monkey walking with a bag down the street.
You give him like 198,000 yen, which is Like it's
Like
almost
$3?
No, it's like $2,000 almost.
Yeah.
At least in late 90s, early 2000s stuff.
Currency. So. Yeah. So you give him way more money than a monkey should ever own. Yeah. Or ever have at once.
Monkeys should never have more than 150,000.
He'll come back with, in our case, one tissue he spent 20 yen on, and then he found
pretty cheap for a tissue.
A wheat. Mm-hmm. Piece of wheat. I don't know. He's just eating wheat. You can feed it to him. We did. Mm-hmm. He loved it.
He loves wheat. Please don't mill that. No milling on my wheat, please.
Yeah, he's like, I want it straight up.
I want it straight from Mother
the stalk.
That's right.
And
stalk and all, baby.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That's
my favorite Toby Keith album, Stalk and All.
Stalk and All.
Mm-hmm.
The Corn and War album.
Yes. Yes.
His the monkey, Freddy.
Let's be honest.
Is what
it's
it always
not
says.
his. It never says it's his.
You let it train. You show it how to jump rope. You show it how to punch things. You let it spar against other monkeys.
Show it how to run.
Show it how to run.
What else is there? There's something else we didn't do, but
you help train it to get its stats up, because what you need to do is you need to beat Sorrow at their own game in order to win back your father and your brother.
You start out as an amateur, though. You can't do it at first because you have to take a pro test.
You have to take a pro test in order to get in and start the real fights. And we trained and trained and trained. And on the 5th day we tried, and then on the 6th day we had to try again in the pro test because Freddy couldn't cut it. He kept getting his clock cleaned.
Ass as you.
By these dumb monkeys. Mm. And really the presentation is what's at the forefront with this game. It's the reason why we're talking about it. It's the reason why it's the classic that everyone knows it as, is because the cutscenes are beautiful. The translation, the localization work is top notch. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say this puts games like Fire Emblem to shame in terms of localization, because this is just pure. It's just great writing. You wouldn't even know it was written in Japanese. When you beat, or when you are beaten.
I was gonna say we don't know what happens.
We don't know what happens when you beat them. We never were able to get that far. But when you get beaten during the protest, it cuts to this vignette of your woman wrapped in a flag, crying, and then the monkey is spotlit, sadly,
and in black and white.
And your person goes, I can't believe I lost.
I can't believe I lost.
I can't believe you lost. I'm so sad you lost. I can't believe I lost. Ass as you. Which just so poignant.
Sticks right in my heart. It's just right? I know, don't cry. I'm sorry.
True words have never been spoken.
It's harsh. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if you're like, oh, I need this promotion at work so bad, and you're like, oh, you come home and your wife is like, how's the promotion meeting? That's how promotions work. Mm-hmm. You have a meeting, and you go,
did you get the job?
And you say, no, I didn't get the job. And she goes, I can't believe I didn't get that job. Ass as you, dude. I would just die. I would just pass away.
Yeah, it's
just drift off into the ether.
It's really tragic, and it's even more tragic when you consider that what you have to do is you just have to pick it up the next day. You have to pick up your monkey gloves. You got to pick up your monkey. You got to feed him, and you got to get him back on the horse.
You got to teach him how to run. You got to try not to trip as much as you can.
You got to get back on the horse and just try it again. And really, it was originally very tragic to me when I heard the phrase "ass as you said." But then I kind of turned it into, I've kind of over the years, as I've, re-examined Monkey Puncher, really thought about it, I've turned it into sort of a motivational phrase, right? It's kind of like, hey, you get knocked down, but you get up again.
Right.
Nothing's going to keep you down.
Right.
It's kind of like
you drink a curry drink, you drink a bread drink, you drink a corn drink,
you drink a wheat drink, you use a tissue on your nose or your bum time, use a tissue on your bum or your nose time.
That's right. You jump the rope that reminds you of the good times. You run the run that reminds you of the better times.
Yeah, and it's that sense of hey, sometimes life gets you down, but you have to keep at it. That really inspired me to get the phrase "ass as you" tattooed on my lower front neck, kind of like my throat, right on the esophagus area.
It looks really nice. I just thought it said asses you, but which means something completely different here on the moon. We won't get into that now. It means but you have it spaced out. I didn't realize that they didn't do a very good job, but that's fine. That's fine. You can.
Didn't have a lot of picks. Okay, it was a prison tat when I was in the clank for mooncat fighting.
The only thing worse than the clank is the clank. Some would say. Mooncat fighting.
On the moon, it's called the clank.
You're the Michael Vick of the moon.
No one's ever said anything so nice to me.
Ascorbic acid. Man, guys, you know how to make some mango creamy soda. I love ascorbic acid and artificial flavor. Sodium citrate. I love acesulfame K. Oh, I love acesulfame K.
The K kind is just so good.
Carbonated water. Evaporated skimmed milk. Not to confuse carbonated skim milk.
Skimmed milk? They just skimmed the top layer off the milk?
They just they read the manual in 2 seconds.
They just skimmed it.
That's good. 16.5 ounces, a nice round number, just for me to drink on.
Yeah.
Not quite a pint, just very, very, almost a pint.
I like that.
4 ounces away from being a pint.
I like that because they put their design philosophy into the shape of the bottle before, their round numbers. They made sure, hey, we like this bottle. We're sticking to it. You can deal.
Yeah, we wanted to give you guys 16 ounces, but you know what? 0.5 ounces for free.
Yeah, you know what? Screw you.
Only 60 more cents for that 0.5 ounces.
You don't like my bottle? Screw you. And they did the, fingers in the peace sign, but backwards and up, like they're putting them up a butt.
V for victory, but backwards.
Hey, man, screw you.
That's right. Sawed off.
Yeah. Sawed off, you love.
Gubna?
They don't want to say
Sawed off, you gubna.
I'm sick of all you gubners on my side. Sawed off.
That's really... Soda Wars were a hard time.
We tag these cassette tapes as explicit. We can say things like sawed off. We can bite our thumb at people. Okay?
I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Hold on. I'm gone.
We can do it. No, we gotta talk about the moon mail and stuff. Just come back, then you can leave.
Okay, I guess I'll come back.
Just come back. Look, you guys, it's been a great time talking to you about the art archive. We got Billy Bob's Huntin' and Fishing in the barrel. We got that other game in the barrel, too. Mm-hmm. They're both
Punky Muncher.
Chronicled now for future generations so that we can all continue to enjoy them.
They're chronicled like Riddick.
Now, what we need is for you to do a few things. We want to make sure these tapes are actually getting to the past, because I'm kind of afraid that we're just broadcasting these into the ether and we're just microwaving some tapes,
which is fun to do by itself.
It's fun to watch, but we want to see if there's a greater cause to all this. So we want to know, let us know if you're out there, if you're listening, if you're taking part in these archives and using this to build your video game collection.
Yeah, make sure listening is fine, but viewing is better.
Yes, viewing is better. The video component is vital to the show.
Wait till you viewed a podcast for the first time. It will blow your mind.
Yeah, it's all wiggly and it's cool.
It's like a sine wave.
So, you can go to facebook.com/Joystick Tuggers. You can go to twitter.com/Joystick Tuggers. You can go to pretty much whatever.com/Joystick Tuggers. Instagram. We got it all set up through... We got it... Magram. We got it all set up through our grandparents. We had them set it up and get it ready for us. We post things on there pretty regularly. Go on there. Just let us know you exist. Send us a moon mail. joysticktuggers@gmail.com. Let us know if you got a game that's particularly great, something that's classic, something that needs to be known. We want to hear about that so that we can give it a look and hopefully put it in the archive. It might be something that's as well known. I mean, it can be something that's as well known as the two games we talked about today. That's fine.
I mean,
but if it's
you'll be hard pressed
more,
to find something that well known. But
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
But if it's even more obscure, the better. We're not above putting those in the archive either.
Yeah, we'll like obscure games like Mario Bros, Metroid, Wii Music, really like the big.
We play
like the big hidden gems that like. Well, I mean, let's be fair.
Carnival games.
I mean, everybody play. That's true. Everybody did play Wii Music. Everyone did play that, but that's not a good example. Mario Bros. I can't think of any other games that are not well known. Every other game is pretty much well known.
Yeah, I mean, most of the ones we've talked about definitely are. But that's the thing. We need to hear about these games so that, we can do our research and we can add them to the archive. So shoot us a moon mail. Hit us up on those other social networks. And, we're going to go start digging through the stacks and finding our next games.
Yeah, digging the crates.
See ya next week. Save the earth. As always, please save the earth. Save the earth.
We hope this transmission meets you, person of the past, in times of peace and plenty. As always, remember, pickles make the best gifts. Goodbye.
Camera shy.
Back, back, back.